Hello, my name is Lauren and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from the tutorial videos that I've made in the past, and I'll be making some more regular, usual tutorial videos. Next week I'll definitely have one. But in today's video I want to talk about something about kind of the art of practicing. So over my practice journey, I've noticed some patterns, and I want to just kind of share them in this video. So I've noticed, people, a very general statement you've heard before is the more you practice, the better you get. And what I've found is that this is a very generalized statement, and I feel that the reality is much more complex than this statement, and I'll explain why in a minute. But I like to refer to what I'm talking about today as like the 80-20 rule in practicing. And I actually got this idea from another YouTube video. I think I watched it about a year ago, and she talks about 80-20, and so I'm not talking about something entirely different from what she's explaining in this video. But the concept is that 20% is actually it's very important. 20%, it's super important, and we focus on it a lot. It's like the fundamentals. It's tone, it's playing in tune, it's phrasing, dynamics, and playing tone quality on your low notes, tone quality on your high notes. It's all of these things. And these things, I feel like we can get consumed when we practice. We can totally get into these things and thinking about them and become very, very cerebral. And we can lose the other aspect of practice, which we can refer to as the 80%, the other aspect of music making. And this is what you can think of as like feeling really inspired, feeling capable, sharing a message, feeling like all the mindset you approach your practice with. And that makes a huge difference. And if that's in a good place, if your mindset is in a good place, a lot of the fundamental things can actually, in my experience, come faster or more naturally. And some things just fall into place when you're coming from a really good, healthy mindset. And so that's the message I want to share in this video. I want to invite you to feel inspired when you come to your music making and practice. So that's basically it. I've observed throughout my practice journey, I used to just think, well, they tell me to practice more and then I'll be good, and that was the promise. So I actually used to practice 14 hours, up to 14 hours in one day. And I remember one day in particular, I practiced 9 hours on just one line of music. And although that was an experience, I learned things from practicing that long in a day, and I'm sure some things became a little bit better from practicing that much, like my technique and my fluency and different key signatures and things like that. I actually wasn't playing very well or performing very well during that time when I was practicing so much. I was coming from a place of feeling incapable, and so I said, well, if I practice more, I guess I just have to practice more, right? So that's the place I was coming from, was that if I practice enough, I'll be the best. And that's just too simplified. Whereas, sometimes I've also had experiences where I've played something that I haven't touched in 8 years, but since I'm feeling inspired or capable or like I can do this, and like I just have these good excited feelings before I play, and I just want to make music and have fun. I actually have also observed that I can pick up a piece of music I haven't looked at in 8 years and play it better than when I was practicing it a lot 8 years ago. And so this is an observation I've made. I'm definitely not saying I'm not saying, practice less or anything like that. I'm saying how important it is to come to your practice with a healthy mindset, with a mindset of feeling capable and inspired and positive and things like that. And really quickly, I wanted to add to this video 3 ways that you can get in a good kind of mental space before practicing. So one is visualizing how you want your practice to go, how you want to feel, how you want to sound, and just kind of visualize how you want the practice to go before you actually practice. 2 is to listen to inspiring artists, people you draw inspiration from before you play. Maybe just listen to them for a little while before your practice session. And then the 3rd tip is to practice and focus on, make a conscious effort to find things about your playing that you really like and just focus on those things a little bit more. Consciously doing that, and that these are just 3 quick tips that you can try to create a good feeling, a good mental space before or during your practice. So that's the message I want to share. And those are some observations I've noticed along my practice journey. And so I will actually have on my website in the Student Resources Printable Exercises tab a practice log. I created a little practice log for checking in, for observing my state of mind before I'm playing, and notice any patterns between that and my practice. So I have made this sheet for my own personal use, but I find that I actually just prefer using a plain old notebook and doing this in the notebook. But I will leave a link to that practice resource if you're interested in having a little outlined, I don't know what to call it, a practice log sheet that also you can track, how you're feeling and observing any patterns between how you're feeling, your mental state of mind, and how you're approaching your practice and how you're actually doing during your practice, because I think there's a really huge connection between those 2 things. So yeah, so I'll have that on my website, and I think that's all I wanted to say in this video today. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.